Thanks, Brian. It's past 10 o'clock now, and we're continuing to track the Kona Storm making its way across interior islands now, with alerts extended for Honolulu and more heavy rain possible. We want to get straight to the experts. Joining us now is meteorologist Robert Ballard with the latest update. Good morning, Bob. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for jumping on the call. When can residents realistically expect some improvement?
Yeah, you covered that pretty well in the forecast. This band of heavy rain and moisture, which has been just pounding Oahu overnight, we're a little concerned that we could see more heavy showers and thunderstorms form somewhere in that band. Now, whether that forms over Oahu again, or a little to the west or a little to the east, we're not exactly sure, but we want everybody to be on guard as this redevelops. And then we should start to see improvement here on Oahu as we get into by about Sunday. The band will tend to move toward the southeast and weaken with time. And then we expect that probably the heavy rain will clear the Big Island into Sunday night and Monday. But we are watching it. There's some model trends which are a little concerning as we head into the early part of next week. So we're going to look at that. One thing I want to note is that as wet as it's been, it does not take as much rainfall to produce even worse flash flooding than we would normally see with the same amount of rain. And that's what we saw last night. So we just want folks to be aware of that.
Now, you did mention, of course, the times and the dates, specifically after about Sunday and Monday, it'll look a bit better. Are there certain times of the day when conditions could be more dangerous for Oahu? Does it look like it will get better moving forward, at least for today, or there's some spotty areas of some heavier rain still expected for Oahu, or is the worst behind us?
No, we could see more heavy showers and thunderstorms redevelop over or near Oahu at pretty much any time now through about Saturday or Saturday night. Again, it's very, very hard to pin down exactly where those are going to set up. Last night, of course, we saw the most intense rainfall over the North Shore. We got half a foot to a foot of rain in about a 12-hour period up there. And on top of the rain that's already fallen, it just turned into a total mess up there. So we're worried about additional heavy rain like that occurring over the next 24 hours or so. Again, the tendency is going to be for that heavy band to sort of shift to the east and southeast. We've been saying that this is a weaker system than the last one, and it is weaker, but that does not necessarily mean that we are going to see in any one particular spot less of a threat for flash flooding or less heavy rainfall. And the reality is, of course, at this point, it doesn't take much at all to cause flash flooding.
Could we see additional alerts or warnings issued through the weekend? I know right now we don't have any wind watches, advisories, or warnings issued. We just have been talking about the flood watch advisory for Molokai, of course, and then the flood warning for the north end of Oahu. Do you think we'll be adding any wind advisories or any other weather alerts to that list as well?
Yeah, I do think that that's possible. We have we're looking at the wind threat. We don't think that the wind threat is as big with this system as the last system, but we could see heavy showers and thunderstorms, and we could get strong wind gusts with those as they develop. And we had some of that last night when the heavier showers and storms developed. We got gusty winds that formed over Oahu in a localized area, and that kind of thing could continue as we get into tonight, into Saturday night and Sunday, and head down the chain. Again, not looking to be as much of a wind threat as before, but still quite a bit of concern considering how saturated the ground is. It's not going to take much to knock over trees and knock down more limbs. So,
are certain areas of Oahu seeing higher risk than others right now, including the North Shore? Do you think leeward or urban areas, since they don't typically see this much rain, do you think they'll be impacted even more so than windward areas?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And I would not want to have anybody on Oahu or really anywhere in the islands let their guards down right now, considering how saturated we are. Last night was a reminder that it's a lot of rain, but that much rain, 6 to 12 inches in 12 hours, would not normally cause the kind of flooding that we saw last night. So that just tells you we're putting a lot of rain on top of very saturated ground. So it's a very serious situation for pretty much everybody. Kauai probably has the least threat, but going down the chain, Oahu in the near term is going to have the most threat, and then that will tend to work its way down the chain as we get into Sunday, and then past the Big Island, maybe Sunday night into Monday.
Yeah, thank you for that. When was the last time that you think we saw a wet season storm this impactful? I know last week we had so many power outages. The winds, like you were saying, were a lot stronger. But this one, I mean, I think from other people's perspective, especially with the flooding, seems in some ways worse. When was the last time you think you saw something maybe similar to this Kona storm?
So in terms of like how widespread these couple rounds have been and how persistent and the fact that we've had a lot of different threats, and I'm not saying this, we'll have to crunch the numbers to see exactly, but this is starting to remind me of the 40 days of rain of 2006, where we had a whole bunch of strong Kona lows and weather systems move through the islands and just dump copious amounts of rain over and over and over again. Now, I'm not saying this is going to end up being like that, but it's starting to feel that way, at least in terms of impacts over the last week or so.
Thank you so much. And again, we'll have more of this on KHWN2.com, and we'll also list the National Weather Service's website so people can check out specifically those updated weather and marine alerts that we talked about this morning. Thanks so much, Bob, for joining us again.
Thank you.
All right, we'll send things back over to the desk to Sam and Sarah.
All right, mahalo, Brittany.